All right, everyone. Sorry for the delay in this video. Just a lot of projects on my plate right now, and sorry for any noise in the background. It's a little windy out here, and it's a lot of loud cars that seems to be coming by today. I want to do a quick update, or a follow-up anyway, on the electric fan install from flex-a-lite on the '98 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like I said in the first video, I made the bracket with the radiator out of the vehicle. So it was pretty easy to do it. So actually, with the aftermarket radiator that I popped in here, it fit like a glove. It dropped in that lower two little slots, and then I just bolted it up here. I believe I just used two pieces of angle iron, like the previous video stated. I think they're, I want to say half inch, but it actually looks like 3/4. A couple of flat stock. Now with the flex-a-lite fan, the original controller that came with this thing was junk. They may be fine. The one out of the box just did not work. It wouldn't take the temperature or anything, wouldn't bring the fans on unless you just cut the AC on. What I ended up doing is taking a chance in the flex-a-lite controller. If you can see it in this, sorry about the light, there it is, you can see it a little bit. I like that. It actually has a soft start on it, so what happens is whatever speed or temperature you set it at, it brings the fan on at 60%. And then I believe for the next couple of degrees, it just increases the fan by like 10% each time until it gets to its maximum speed. Seems to work great. I like that soft start on it. It takes that real hit off that alternator from these fans. Makes a huge difference, especially people that's already kind of pushing the system with any electronic upgrades from stereos or anything. Now, I did put this little contraption on here for the temperature sensor for the fan, and I don't care too much for it. It seems to be working fine. It's too much. It's just in the way. I'll end up either finding a thermostat housing that has another port, or finding another port for it on the engine, or doing something different. It's just too big and bulky right here, so I will do something different. And I will go back in and neaten up these wires a little bit, put them in looms and everything, so you can just be a little neater over time. I hate anybody that you get these cars afterwards, it just looks like a rat nest. They just keep adding stuff on top of adding stuff. So when y'all get a chance, just clean it out. Take the time to do it right. That way, if you ever do have a problem, it is a lot easier to find the issue down the road. Now, the one issue I did do with this is when I started it, I set it with the little temperature gauge on there. You know, I know these things like to run around 210, so I waited for it to get right around that and set it. What seemed to happen is as it kind of settled down, it actually kept it too cool. I don't know if that temperature gauge just is not a quick acting as the computer reads. So what I ended up doing is I ended up having my reader in here, and you can't see it now, but when it's running, you have a live view mode on it, which gives you live information as it's running. I just waited for that temperature to get up to it at that display. Once it got to right around 200, I believe, is where I set it at. And since then, it seems to be doing great. I installed this when we had some warm days. Can't tell you exactly what it was, but like I said, until I made that adjustment, to be honest with you, it was cooling too good. Now again, this is the inline six engine. If you have the V8 or anything like that, you may have some issues with it. Every vehicle I've ever had that ever had people that said they had cooling issues and all that, they've tried all these things. Most of the time, if they just go ahead and replace the water pump, replace the thermostat, flush everything out, go ahead and do a new radiator, new hoses, most of the time that takes care of everything. And also with that electric fan, it does make a big difference, obviously, at idle, because you're getting that speed no matter what speed you're going. So if anyone is thinking about doing the upgrade, it definitely made a big difference, especially on it being an inline six. You can tell a lot of idle has smoothed out a little bit with the inline. I don't want to say it has more horsepower. It's hard to say, but it is a little bit more peppier without the mechanical fan in there. So that's it. Like I said, if anyone's thinking about doing it, it does work out great. I did have a little bit of an issue with that controller, but to be honest with you, if you did this, you may want to find the fan without the controller, or maybe they have this model in another version with that newer controller, or just go ahead and upgrade to that controller and just know you're going to have to buy it separately. So that's it. Like I said, if anyone's thinking about doing it, it's definitely works out pretty well in this vehicle, and it does clean things up. Now the bolts in there, what I did is I just literally took the bolts to Lowe's or Home Depot, got the right grade, and I went real short with it. I just kind of figured out what I needed and went short, because it is some ribs in the back of that water pump. It is a few distance away, but I don't think you can put the original bolts back in there. It may concern me that it may hit that ridge in the back side of that pulley on the water pump. So that's it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask them and I'll get to them as soon as possible. If there's any other videos or information you need about any of my vehicles or toys, feel free to let me know. Thank y'all for watching.